Basketball talk like you've never heard before. It's time for the most exciting basketball podcast, starring NBA great Damon Jones and Jake from Jake's Takes. Get ready for Ballin Out with Jake and Damon.
Welcome to Ballin Out. I'm Jake, and I want to introduce my co-host, NBA great Damon Jones. What's up, Damon?
What's up, Jake? How you doing today, buddy? Ready to talk about some NBA basketball? Let's get to it.
I am so ready for this. And, we're going to start today's show by looking around the league for some of the NBA headlines and stories to discuss. So let's start balling out by taking a tour around the NBA. Let's kick it off with the Lakers game last night. Oh, was that such a roller coaster? That was ridiculous. The whole game, LeBron and his Lakers didn't show up to play. LeBron started off 1 for 7 from the field. 1 for 7. And then he just took over in the second half. And that shot, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to explain that shot. It was ridiculous. What do you think about that shot, Damon?
That shot was a very, very big shot. And that's what LeBron James does. Every time you think you're going to count him out, he always comes up with something that's going to help his team get over the hump to win the game. Now, the beginning of that game was a lot of rust on the Lakers side. They hadn't played together in a long time with Schroeder being out, LeBron being out, AD being in and out of the lineup. But when it mattered the most, they did what they had to do to win in advance to become the 7th seed.
So here's one of the things that actually stunned me last night. They took out Drummond. That took a lot of guts. What do you think about that?
It didn't take a lot of guts because the Lakers are at their best when Anthony Davis is playing the 5 position because he can go inside and out. With AD and Drummond on the floor together, there's not a lot of spacing. So I look forward to seeing AD play more 5 against teams like Phoenix, who they're going to face in the first round, because, they could space the floor more and have better driving lanes for their guards.
By the way, one of my favorite YouTubers said it best. Kenny Beecham said, that was the best moment in play-in history.
Yeah, it was. Well, I think for me, it was right behind Jason Tatum's 50 points. So, yeah, it was a big shot, and they needed it to win, to advance. But I think Jason Tatum, what he did without Jaylen Brown, was a special time in play-in history as well.
It was ridiculous. Jason was just scoring at will. He looked like he was a superstar out there.
He's an up-and-coming superstar, I think. And, he really put that team on his back. Like I said, without Jaylen Brown, that was a tough matchup for those guys against Washington. And now they're moving on to face the Brooklyn Nets.
By the way, what do you think about that Washington-Indiana game coming up tonight?
It's going to be a tough game. Indiana, one thing that they've prided themselves on year after year is they play really, really hard. And, we don't know what percentage Bradley Beal is. He hobbled around the court a little bit last game. But if he could be close to 100% as possible, I like Washington in a situation with Westbrook coming back and having a better game than he had the other night.
Yeah, Russ was struggling out there. By the way, about Russ, he broke the triple-double record. That's a record people thought no one would ever break. But I don't know if that's really so impressive nowadays. Players are doing it so much lately. Sabonis is pretty much getting a triple-double every night. Jokic, Luka, and Julius Randle, Harden. All these guys, they're getting so many triple-doubles. You think it's still so impressive?
Well, what's impressive about what Russell has done is he's averaged a triple-double for 4 of the last 5 seasons. And yes, you can go out and get, 10, 15 triple doubles in an 82 game season. but to average a triple-double over the course of a year is, man, it's outstanding, because I would take Russell as one of the best rebounding guards to ever play the game. And it's hard for a guard with all those big guys in there to average 10-plus rebounds. So what he's doing is remarkable. He plays hard every single night. He's going to bring the effort. And because of that, he's going to go down as one of the greatest players to play.
And finally, Michael Porter Jr., MPJ, and how he's been stepping up big time since Jamal went down. I mean, like, in his last 10 games, he's been averaging, I think it was like 27 points. Very high from three. I think it was 50, maybe 48, something like that. And like 55% from the field. And 6 boards. I mean, like, this is a huge impact on the Nuggets. He might be their new Jamal Murray this year. What do you think?
Well, I mean, he's going to have to do it in the playoffs. And in the playoffs, as you know, the opposing team knows everything about you. They know every play you're going to run. Defensively, they know where to attack you. It's going to be a big series for him in that first round against Portland, because with Jokic playing the way that he's playing, you're going to need 2 more guys to be able to alleviate what Dame and CJ are going to give from the Portland side. So he's going to have to show up and be a big part of what Denver is doing if they want to advance.
Yeah, by the way, I'm going crazy over this Mavericks-Clippers rematch.
Love it.
I can't wait for it. You think Luka's actually going to beat Kawhi this time?
No, not a chance.
Big time. Here we go. Get up, Mavericks Nation. This is their time.
No way. I think the Clippers just have so much depth. And, not taking anything away from the Mavericks. Rick Carlisle is a great coach. I played for him in Detroit in 2002. He's definitely going to have his team prepared. But, Luka and Porzingis, 2 guys that are really, really good players. But I don't think they have the depth to compete with the Clippers. And I see that series going 4-1 Los Angeles Clippers.
Damon, it's time as we welcome our caller from Toronto, Eric. Eric, what's going on? What's on your mind?
Hey, Jake and Damon, what's up?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Nothing, thanks. I want to ask you guys a question about the duo of Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. Damon and Jake, do you think Dame and CJ are even close to the level that Steph and Clay are at? And do you think the Blazers will win the title with that duo? Damon, what do you think?
Well, they can't be close to that duo because that duo has won championships. They're going to have to, win a championship or 2 to even be close to those guys. Talent-wise, they're right there. CJ and Dame play so well together, and they do a lot of great things, but they're not on the level of Steph and Clay, only because those guys have won championships. Will they be able to get over the hump and win a championship soon? I don't know. I mean, it takes a lot to win an NBA championship. You have to have a lot of things go in your favor. In the last couple of years, Portland have had a lot of injuries down the stretch, and they haven't had their full team. So hopefully they can get a break or 2 and hopefully get over that hump.
I actually feel that Dame is an absolute stud. This guy is ridiculous. Drilling half-court threes from the logo. I mean, like last year in the bubble, he put it on full display. But I think CJ, he's a great player and all, but I think he's not even close to the level that Klay Thompson was at before his Achilles tear. And I personally think that Dame actually might get to the level of Steph, but there's no way CJ is getting to the level of Klay.
I mean, that's understandable. But one thing about it is that you can count on C.J. McCollum every night. And he doesn't play the defense that Klay Thompson plays. So Klay's doing it on both sides of the floor. But you can't take away what those guys do together. And I think that was Eric's question. Will that duo together be able to get over the hump and eventually rise up to where those other two guys are? And I think it's going to take them winning a championship or two to be mentioned in that same category.
Okay, thanks, Eric, for the call. Oh, this is my favorite time of day. Right now on Ballin Out, it's time for our spotlight feature on one player in the NBA who's getting noticed and standing out with his exceptional play. It's time for Watching You. This week we're focusing on Bojan Bogdanovic. Wow, Bojan. I mean, like, in his last 10 games, 26 points, 90% from the free throw, 45% from three, and 52 from the field. Wow, not only that, he's also a vocal leader for this team. I mean, like, he's a big piece to this Jazz team. What do you think, Damon?
He's playing really good. And for Utah to advance and get further than they have in the past, he's going to have to be that second scorer behind Spider Mitchell. And if he can do that, then, I like the Jazz chances to advance further than they did last year. With him being out with injury last year, it kind of hurt those guys down the stretch when Spider Mitchell got tired. They didn't have that other guy that they could go to get a bucket. And Bogdanovic is a guy who could shoot the three. He could put it on the floor. He can create offense. He's a very good pick and roll player. So they are definitely going to need him to at least try to get to the Western Conference Finals.
Also, we know Spider likes to create some plays, and Bojan's a great player to do that too. He can drill those threes, and he's a spot-up shooter, man. He's a spot-up shooter.
Yeah, he
just like you, Damon, just like you.
Yeah, he doesn't shoot better than me, but we're not going to put him in that class. But he is a good player.
Not even close. Not even close. Everyone loves a good old-fashioned, passionate debate. So now on Ballin' Out, it's time to duke it out. With the playoffs right around the corner, things are heating up in the both East and West. So it's time to make your prediction. Who's gonna win the 2021 NBA Finals? Damon, you go first.
Wow. I'm going to break it down like this. I see the winner of this year's championship coming out of the Western Conference. Right now, I see both the Lakers and the Clippers meeting in the Western Conference Finals. I'm going to take. Wow, this is a tough one because once this podcast goes live, then I'm going to lose a friend on one side. So I'm going to go with the Clippers this year, just because I think the Lakers they have a tough road ahead, getting to the Western Conference Finals, which I think they're going to get there, but it's still going to take beating the Clippers 4 games out of 7, and I just think that the Clippers have more depth, and so I'm going to go with the Clippers to win the West and also win the NBA title.
I'm going to take a very unpopular opinion, but I'm going with Phoenix.
What?
The reason I'm going with Phoenix is I think CP3 is one of the best leaders you can get. And I mean, like, have you seen Devin Booker last year in the bubble? And that was, like, pretty much playoff time. That was when it all meant to make, like, that was ridiculous. They have a backcourt complement, Mikal Bridges and DeAndre Ayton. I mean, like, DeAndre Ayton and Chris Paul have ridiculous chemistry nowadays. And Bridges is just a player that he's a great piece to your team, and he's an amazing role player.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I like Phoenix, but Phoenix got a tough draw. They have to face the Lakers in the first round, and I just think the Lakers are too big to for the Phoenix Suns to compete against. Yes, you have DeAndre Ayton, but you have a smaller yet fierce, and he's a really good player. I coached him. Really good friends with Jay Crowder, but Jay Crowder is going to have to guard Anthony Davis. Bridges is probably going to have to guard LeBron James, which is a matchup problem for them. So as much as I want to say Phoenix, they got a really bad draw in the first round. So I don't see those guys getting past the first round this year.
Oh, come on, Damon. I can do the same thing. Who's going to guard Chris Paul? Who's going to guard Devin Booker? They don't got guys for that. Come on.
Well, I mean, they do have somebody that can guard Devin Booker. KCP is a very good defender, very good spot-up shooter. And we saw what he did last year in the bubble in the Western Conference Finals, as well as the NBA Finals against the Miami Heat. He played very well on both ends of the floor. So I just like the matchup the Lakers have on their side as far as being able to exploit Phoenix in their, small front court.
Another thing I'm worried about is that who knows? I mean, like, we all saw that they were rusty last game.
Mm-hmm.
We never know if they're going to come out the same way. The Lakers, they might just, drop game 1 and 2 because of that. You never know.
Well, I don't think so. I think last night's game was, something that I love about the NBA right now, the play-in tournament. Anybody can have one bad game, right? So with the format, it's a very good format, very intriguing for the fans. And I think that the Lakers started out slow, but in the second half, they imposed their will defensively, and they made enough plays offensively to get the win. And that's all that matters. They just had to win one game. Now they in a best-of-7 game series against Phoenix, and I don't think Phoenix can beat those guys 4 out of 7 games.
I hear that, but also, Damon, something I'm really looking forward to is Steph taking on Ja. I mean, everybody's saying it's such a mismatch, but it really isn't. I mean, the Grizzlies have tons of weapons, and they're actually a decent team defensively. I don't think Golden State's a good enough team defensively to beat. I think.
Well, one thing about that, Jake, and I know you are a basketball novice, okay, and I don't think Memphis can make enough 3-point shots. They're not a good 3-point shooting team. And I just think that Golden State wins that game because they make more threes than Memphis.
I get that, but I mean, I don't know. Jaren Jackson Jr. last night was putting up some real threes.
Yeah, but can he make 4 or 5? Because we know.
We're just going to have to find out.
Yeah, because we know Steph Curry can make 10. Okay? So if he makes 10, I don't know who else they have over there. They have the young kid from Oakland. Then they have the other guy that came out of Michigan. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank right now. I just watched him play last night. But if he makes 2 or 3, you're looking at 16, 17 threes by Golden State. How many can Memphis make?
More than that.
No way, not even close. Not even close.
I know, but I also feel like that wasn't him. Valanciunas is just going to feed off the post.
Well, Draymond Green, I thought last night would be overmatched by Drummond and Anthony Davis, but he played really, really good defense against Anthony Davis.
But AD is a different player than Valanciunas. AD takes those shots. Valanciunas doesn't do that. He just backs you in and lays it in.
Well, I mean, will Valanciunas be able to play if they go small with Draymond at the 5, spacing the floor? Will he be able to be out there? Because it's going to be tough if he's out there guarding Draymond Green, and Draymond Green is setting high ball screens with Steph Curry. Steph Curry's coming off. He's shooting with no opposition because Valanciunas is playing back. He can't play up because Steph will just go right around it.
Right.
So we'll see.
We will see. Well, this has been an awesome edition of Ballin Out. We covered lots of topics around the NBA. Wishing you all a fabulous week. And see you next time on, say it with me, Damon.
Ball